This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. And folks, just got off work about an hour ago after an overnight shift at the hospital, and hard work. And you know what? I'm tired, but I'm also refreshed at the same time. But you know what? I arrived home here on January the 2nd, 2023, to chat with my pal in the UK. Yes, she
I
helped me. Yeah, she helped me get my Zoom set up. I remember that and I appreciate it. Folks, I give you Kerry Yates. How do you do, Kerry?
Hi, gorgeous. How are you?
Mm,
And I'm honoured to pop to your Zoom, Cherry.
Well, you know what? Nancy McLaughlin suggested it, and you were the one that helped me get it set up, and I've been doing them this way since. So allows me to do them right from the apartment, so that works.
Exactly. At the end of the day, I'm glad to have helped. We got there. It took a few attempts, but we got there in the end that day. So yes, and with a wonderful time difference as well, we got there in the end.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're ahead
yeah.
of me. I'm not used to my guests being ahead of me, but occasionally, yeah, that happens.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's lunchtime here at the moment, so
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
so
But I know one thing that has happened since we last talked. Of course, you guys have a Tim Hortons now. How awesome is that?
it's literally over you. I suppose you call it a freeway. It's literally
Yeah.
over the freeway. It's not too bad. We'll go there for a treat every now and again. So technically, I'll go to Canada once a month now.
You know what? Yeah, Tim Hortons, of course, a coffee company right out of Canada here, and everybody here says they're getting their Timmies fixed. um, I usually go and get a steep tea. That's usually what I get there, but they got a lot of great stuff there. They got usually I'll get a breakfast wrap, and
Mm.
they got lots of good stuff there. So I'm really glad you're getting to enjoy that there in the UK. So I
It
I figured you would.
it took over a year of them with the planners to get it sorted. It took over a year to get it, but they got there in the end, and it's actually nice because they're open until about midnight. So it's quite nice if, say, for instance, you need a caffeine fix at stupid o'clock. We've
Mhm.
got this toddler over there, and it's quite nice. And
There
it's
you
sort of like
go.
nice because they're sort of like big as well, which and it's nice to have, I do somewhere because over here, not a lot of places are open really late. Usually at 10 o'clock, they start shutting down. But Timmy's is open until about midnight. So it's actually quite nice. So
Well, we have one here that's open all night, you know.
I'd have
Yeah.
to come over. I'd
Yeah, we
come
got one
over.
there that drive through is open all night, and yeah,
Mm,
no, no, Tim Hortons is great, and like I said, people here love it. I don't know how many we have here in Fredericton alone. Um, Good question. We've got a
yeah.
lot of them. I know in Toronto when I visit, they've got a lot of them. Like
Mm-hmm.
Timmy's is all over the place here, but just here in little Fredericton, we got a lot of Timmy's.
We
Um,
have the one. We're
you got the one?
We're in West Hampton, UK. We have the one.
There you go.
We're getting growing up slowly because I live in a small town, UK. So we've got one. So grateful,
Well, it's a step in the right
grateful. It's
direction.
a yes, grateful. And I go to Canada once a month now. So
There you go.
yes,
There you
as
go.
close.
What do
Hey,
you usually get when you go to Tim's?
I prefer the hot chocolate. They did it one Yule log. It was really. Do you know you need that sugar fix?
Yeah.
Because you sit there, because I've got the kids as well, and you sit there, you don't have time to sort of like eat a donut, but you want the sugar fix. So the Yule log hot chocolate was about that big. So
Yep.
I didn't need a donut as well. That was fine for me. So
Oh, you
yeah,
got
and
they
the
got
mate,
lots of choices there.
Yeah, and also they have the, is it maple latte?
Oh,
It's
there
called a
you
maple.
go.
Yes, that's nice. As I say, I think with the syrup and sugary syrup is enough for me. I don't. The kids have a donut, and usually Raven, my little girl, she flutters her blue eyes, and she usually gets a free donut, so she's happy. Yeah, she
There you
looks at the
go.
man. She goes, "Hi," and he goes, "Oh God, I shouldn't have really said that, just in case it's sorry if you lose your job." He usually looks at her, goes, she goes, "Oh, hello," goes, and he goes, "Oh, don't tell anyone." So she gets a free donut. So it's quite, they like it, and it's a treat once a month. We could pop over, really. That's actually so it's nice to actually have somewhere different to go, and you got got the Canadian style coffee, as they say, and somewhere different.
I think
Uh,
it's really cool, you know. I know there's a lot of mornings. It's been a while because I've been so busy, but I know there's been a few times that I called, and nice to hear you and your husband chat, you know,
yeah,
we both got caught in that 13 fanboy debacle that happened.
yeah.
I know that but that was one thing that kind of pulled me out of these projects, you know, and I know it pulled you out too. So what have you been doing since 13 Fanboy? Like what have you been devoting your time to? I know your family's very important.
Well, obviously, family first. At the end of the day, it's family first, and also home educate with the children. So that takes up between the hours of 8 and 4 daily. Then also I have to do paperwork after that. And then I do a lot of advocacy work because that's important to me. I've been an advocate from day one. I have to advocate for the kids' needs and kids' rights and stuff. And there's lots of sort of like advocacy stuff I do, which is important to me because at the end of the day, some people don't have voices. I've got a big voice, and if I can advocate for others, then I hope it helps because a lot of people don't have voices or don't know how to use them or too scared to use their voice. And it's like there's, it's the anniversary of the Four Lives case being aired on television, and I'm friends with Jack Taylor's sisters, and I'm friends with some of the families that were, hang on a minute, let's get the drink, that were murdered by the serial killer Stephen Port. And at the moment, their families are trying to make the police force accountable for the homophobic attitudes towards their children and their brother's case. And at the end of the day, it's important to me because I don't want, if someone was to go, say for instance, you was come to my country and you were over here and they said it was a Canadian thing. Oh, I'll go, what do you mean a Canadian thing? Because um, in the Stephen Port case, it was homophobic. Oh, it's a gay thing. Oh, it's a gay thing. No, it's not a gay thing. It's someone. If you've got 4 bodies in the vicinity of a sort of like 3 mile radius of one apartment, and they've all got GHB in the system, and a lot of these boys, that's all they were, in this, the GHB in the system, they were all in the vicinity of one apartment, and it's a gay thing because GHB is used in chemsex, and I was sitting there going, hang on a minute, I put 2 and 2 together. I don't live in London, but I'm a true crime nut anyway, as you know. And I sat with my husband years ago and I said, there's something not right. I said, you've got 4 gay men who are found in the street with GHB in their system, and some of them don't even touch drugs. And they're sitting there going, oh, it's a gay thing. I'm going, excuse me, it's not a gay thing. I said, it's not a Canadian thing for you because you're Canadian. It's not because they're gay, doesn't mean every gay man is going to touch the drug GHB. And that was a lot, and the thing that really got me most is when I was doing research on the Four Lives case, the serial killer Stephen Port was actually known to the police a year before, and Anthony, and the reason why I will say his name properly is because every time Anthony's parents were having contact with the police, the we call him a family liaison officer, which is the police officer that relays the information between family and the police. Kept calling him Anthony. He was called Anthony. It's like, you are called, I'm Kerry, I'm not Kez. It's like, I've got a son called Kyle. He's not called Carl, like some people call him, and it infuriates me. If you can't get the name of your victim right, it's like, I've got a hoodie for the Four Lives case, which I wear around to remind people that these boys existed and their case existed. Purposely on Anthony's name, I've actually got the TH in capitals at the back, just to say, look, he was called Anthony Walgate, not Anthony Walgate, because that is what that's what he was known as, and that is what he's christened as and birthed as. I said, if you can't get the name of your victim right all the time, then you're screwed. That's how I look at it. And it's where, when they're saying, oh, when Anthony's mum was looking at, what was Anthony wearing? He was wearing this. Well, he was a fashion student, and he would not wear what he was found dead in, basically. That makes any sense. And, when they say I was a gay thing, I'm like, I'm sorry, but when the person that murdered Anthony is on the police computer for over a year, because Stephen Port was on the computer for rape attempts on men, I sit there and I look and I go, well, I'm sorry, your suspect was on the your radar for ages. So, and that is what's important to me. It's important that that I don't want it to be, oh, it's a gay thing. I'm going, no, it's not a gay thing. I said, the thing that makes me more so upset is Anthony wanted to be I could be getting Anthony Walgate's clothes offered, the fashion side of things. You got one that came over here, Gabriel Cavari. He came over to my country because it wasn't seen as a good thing to be a gay man in his country. So he came over to England, UK, to be safe. And he was, and then you got Jack and you got Daniel, and, Jack, I'm friends with his sisters. And I sit there, and Jack at one point looked into being a police officer. And I was sitting there going, well, they didn't protect him. And it took all of the families to sort of like push the police. And if it wasn't for Donna and Jen Taylor saying, or being detectives and doing what they did, Stephen Port would still could have been killing victims again and again and again. And, it's important that if you have a crime committed against you, they should go in with open eyes. And if you cannot be clear of mind, then you shouldn't be in the job. And no one was reprimanded for letting the killings, it's the grinder killer, it's known as here in the UK. So, and, I want justice for those families, because it shouldn't, I can't have guaranteed Anthony's safe, that Anthony couldn't happen, but It's a case of I think the other 3 victims could have been saved because of shoddy police work. That's how I look at it anyway. So,
Oh, I totally see that. And there's nothing worse than having people you depend on to the degree that we do them and then have it fail.
well, it's like, some of them do even touch drugs. And I go, what the hell have I got GHB in the system? And then one had a suicide note. And, Daniel's family were just getting used, going to like meetings for so people, your son has, your children have been taking their life, just getting used to the idea of it, to be told actually your son didn't commit suicide, but it's murdered. And you're like, well, we told you that 6 months ago. So, so I'm sort of like trying to get awareness of that, really. It's one of the main ones, because I would like to know that if someone was to ring up the police, they get a fair crack of the whip of their investigation and stuff. So at the end of the day, I could talk about it for hours and hours and hours. Got so much information going around, but obviously,
Well, people want to hear you, not me. I'm just kind of sitting here and looking over notes here and stuff. I don't want to get into this too much in detail, but of course, we're both subject to the whole 13 fanboy thing, and I just go tell you right now, I had Orlando Rodriguez on, and I knew he had sent the screenshots to me.
yeah.
And Orlando sent them to me because he didn't like how I was being treated, and he didn't like how others were being treated either. And he thought, I never revealed to anybody that he had sent them to me. Just, that's up to him to reveal. And finally he did. He come on here and talked about it. And but anyway, I feel bad about that situation. But I also feel a lot of bitterness and a lot of anger as well. I'm pretty sure you do as well. I mean, you got
Well,
accused of sending those screenshots to me, and Orlando had stated, Kerry Yates did not send those, and I said you did not send them. I don't know what their beef was with you to single you out for that accusation.
well, people ask me why I do post-conviction advocacy, miscarriage of justice stuff. I goes, well, this is the reason why. I said you have no evidence against you and you still get accused and you're hung, drawn and quartered, as we call it. I said at the end of the day, I know who sent the screenshots. I wasn't gonna say it because at the end of the day, this is how I look at it. You entrust me with that information. It's not my story to tell. It's either yours or Orlando's. And that is what post conviction advocacy is. You get told a lot of information about cases that are not privy yet. You didn't turn around and say to me, oh, Orlando said it's okay, or you say it's okay. When I get accused, I'm like, people ask me why I do, stuff, for post conviction. I sit there and go, well, the 13 Fanboy tobacco fiasco shit show is the reason why. And the thing that pisses me off the most is I do post. I'm in group chats with lots of people who are a lot higher up, which involves journalists, this, that, and the other. And under no circumstances do I share and if I don't have a dog in that fight, I can't be bothered. I have enough shit at home to deal with. My patience is for my family. I can't be bothered. It's like I looked at what was said, and I was like, well, I'm not being funny then. That doesn't belong in this chat.
Nope.
That is between you. It's between you and Miss, the lady with the same name as
Debbie
Jason
Sue
Voorhees.
Voorhees. Yeah.
Yeah, it's between you two. It's not
Mhm.
between. It's not. It's It's a bit like me. Not being. I could have mentioned. Oh, I learnt about decomposition the other day. This, that, and the other. They're gonna go. What's that to do with 13 Fanboy chat? At the end of the day, it's between you, Debbie Sue, and whatever. It's between you lot. At the end, it's not between me, you, the gatepost.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, Orlando sent you told me that it was Orlando that sent you the screenshots. I did not, I was asked, oh, do you know? And I went, I'm not going to tell. It's nothing to do with me. I said, at the end of the day, you've accused. I've got it in black and white that you've accused me. I said, you've got no evidence that it's me. You say you accidentally kicked me out of a chat thing, which is absolute crap because you've got a physical. I know I've got chats that I'm privy to, and I know how they shut down, and I know how they're set up. I said, if I was accidentally frozen out of the chat, third person that streamed me out could put me back in. Easy. All you got to do is add the person again. The fact is that you threw me out, threw me under the bus, and everything else says a lot
Yep.
about you. And it put, and to be honest, people have said I'll get involved in this, but I said I can't be bothered. It's
No.
not worth it. I get more out of advocacy than I do. It's like
Yep.
I look at, I can't be, but at the end of the day, it doesn't pay my bills.
Nope.
It doesn't pay my bills. And it's no offense to the community. Tom Cruise is is an executive producer. Don Simpson. If it's like, yeah, I've got a couple of credits to my name. IMBD, in my eyes, is a sticker book. Like you get stickers, well done, or you're paying for that sticker. If it's not paying your bills, don't worry about it. If you're doing it for your mental health and it's not working out, walk away. It's not worth it. It's sort of like, yeah, you got the good up. If you're gonna do up and coming, or you want to get, experience, by all means, treat it as a hobby. Don't treat it real. It's all right saying, oh, but I'll go, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, none of us have got spare cash like we used to a few years ago because we had we're still possibly in the pandemic. I know I haven't got the cash anymore.
No.
I said, just treat it as a hobby. It's not paying your bills. IBD is a sticker book. You're paying for that sticker book, that sticker. If you want to be a real executive, it's like, it's like if I was an associate producer, say for Fanboy, I should have been over at New Mexico helping produce it. Yeah, it's like
Sure.
the last project I invested in was the Third Channel,
Mhm.
and they were filming. I should have been technically over in California helping if I was a proper executive producer. I would have had say in who could or I didn't think should be in the film.
Mhm.
But that is what a proper executive producer. I said, don't worry. I said, yeah, one thing I will say, there's a lot of backstabbers in it, and it's not me being horrible. And you've got to look at it in another way. If you were to lose your job, or the way your finances are, would they crowdfund for you? That is how I look at it. Would they say, for instance, I don't know, you were to lose your income because you're saying blah about yourself and it isn't true? Would those people that you are pushing the project for, would they crowdfund for you? No, they wouldn't. Was at the end, that's how I look at it. It's not being horrible. It's how what I've seen over the last few years. It's just treat it as a hobby. Don't take it seriously. because it's not worth it. And if you're doing it for your mental health, don't even bother, because that is how I look at it. It's sort of like there's projects I look at and I just can't. And there's two, and people showed their true colours to me to a certain degree, and I look and I'd think, no, do you get what I mean? It's sort of like keep. It's like a lot of things have happened in the horror community, and people are showing their true colours. And to me, it's like, no, I don't think I want to be a part of it. So I may sound horrible, and I may sound brutal, and I may sound direct, but as I say, it's not paying my bills. It's not pay, it's not paying, and all it is for a sticker in on IMBD. And is it really truly worth it? And my answer is not really. If there is, there may be a job project might come along later on, but at the moment I'm happy as I am. I put my foot in. I don't know if I want to put it in again for a long, long time. It's like I see the projects sort of like coming up and go, invest in. Oh, I go, not really. I said, you'll get, you will get your money more than likely, but you also got to remember is you can invest in these projects, but will they ever get made?
Oh,
They,
there's a lot of that going around.
you sit there and it's like you look and you go, you've invested, but it's like, I've invested it, invested in this project, invested in this project, and you sit there. When's the movie getting made? You sit there, go, my hard, my new trainer fund went into your film. When's it getting made? And I look at it, nah. I tell you what, I'd rather go and import like true crime books from America right now than at least I know in a few weeks I'm getting guaranteed my books and stuff. So that's how I look at it. It's just, to be honest, I can't be bothered.
Absolutely. Oh, yes, absolutely. But I'm going to tell you, you were always there. And I know people like Adam Marcus appreciated it, when you come into the chats. And of course,
Yeah.
that was for a different project. And I always spoke highly of you, because like I said, I wouldn't be doing these Zooms if it hadn't have been for you. And no, I felt bad about that whole thing. But I'm glad we're still connected.
Yeah.
You're fighting the good fight for your family. I see you're always posting about them.
At the moment, I've had to stop because I've got a deranged stalker.
Yeah, I heard about that. Do you have any idea who it is?
All I know is it's someone who hasn't got a life. Obviously, I don't want to. I know stuff that I've been told, and I can't divulge it. But I will
Mm-hmm.
talk. I can talk to you off camera about it. But I've had to stop. I've been advised I can't put any more pictures of my family up on social media ever again, because I do not know who they are, and I do not know if they're watching me. And I've got to prove beyond reasonable doubt, so I can always talk to you about it another day. But yeah, as I say, oh, unfortunately, I have to go careful now with the children and stuff, because it happened a year ago, and it happens again. All I say, it happened a year ago, and then it happened a year later. It's just a bit weird. One, the stalker, pounced a year ago in the November, then November again last year. And all I will say is if I ever find out who they are, I'm not going to be a happy bunny when I do find out who they are. But I can't divulge too much, because obviously I don't. Walls have ears, YouTube has ears, and I don't want to give them any information that I know what I know. But as I say, unfortunately, everyone says, oh, why don't you, you're letting the stalker win. And I sit there and go, unfortunately, people, it's a bit like victim blaming. I said, I should be able to put, stuff up about my family. But if it's getting, and stuff, it's a bit like, it's victim blaming. And one thing I don't agree with. But obviously, I can't talk about that too much because obviously, just in case they watch. But all I will say is I'll discuss what I know with you, off camera. But as I say, someone can pinpoint me in, and I'm only in small town UK. Just be prepared that anybody can try and screw you over. And that's that. That's why I say go careful of what you post online. It gets misconstrued. Go careful of what you know. It's like I see a lot on my thing, which you could, over a time, you could complain about this, complain about that. Next thing you know, you go, you are this, you are that. So I say, go careful of what you post. If you don't rant too much about this, that, and the other, don't, because your Facebook wall does have eyes and ears. Oh, at the end of the day, we everyone thinks it's safe because it's Facebook, and I said, you're not. So one thing I will say is go careful about what your kids' pictures. It's like I sit there and I did a thing on internet pedo, internet pedo, hacking and stuff. And I said, with what I've learned, please go careful of what you post. Like, half naked children, don't post that. I said, if baby Bobby has learned how to walk and he's got nothing on, by all means, take a video, but don't post it on Facebook. I said, because you do not know, it doesn't take 5 minutes to hack your account, and baby Bobby's video could be in places you don't want it to be. I said, and then I get grief because I'm just putting a nice friendly warning. I said, at the end of the day, it's just ridiculous. But you don't want to, on that. So, just go careful
No,
of what you post. Just go careful. It's at the end of the day, since you put it on, all I will say is you got, do you know the supermarket bulletin boards? All I
no,
will say,
yeah, I was just reading some stuff on here from all of that stuff because I've kept it saved in case needed, you know. I know last time I talked to Jason Bradford, I promised him I wouldn't talk about it anymore, but I know some dealings with he had with Anthony Camano. Anthony, I have no issue with, but through stuff like that, I'm still hearing crap about me, and it's like I just took the gloves off and decided no,
mm,
no, you know. I'm glad Orlando brought it to my attention and sent me the screenshots. Had he not, I would have been dealing with people being all friendly to my face and behind my back, totally different. Now, to be fair, not everybody was like that. Orlando definitely wasn't. There's some people that were involved with that movie who haven't turned their back on me. Lar Park Lincoln is still wonderful. Tracy Savage come on my show on Boxing Day, and she had stated that I had never wronged her. Ron Sloan's still a nice guy, and there's probably others, like Tony Benedetto. He came on my show and he stated he doesn't pay attention to all that stuff,
mm,
and had Noelle Berger on, Troy Elke. Um, it's funny because Christopher Norris kind of turned his back on me. Troy Elke hasn't, you know? Yep. But I wish it could have turned out better. And as pissed off as I am about how things went with me, I thought the accusing you was like it makes me wonder if they had an issue with you to begin with, why they would just blatantly just finger point you without any proof, because you were innocent. And when I had Orlando on a month or so ago, we talked about that, and yep, but nonetheless, it's done, and I'm going to try my best to put it behind me. But I don't get involved with these films really anymore, I'm not saying I never will again, but right now it's certainly a no. I've got a good job, and but I know one thing that was stated to me, that 13 Fanboy stuff will affect celebrities coming on my show. I did a record-breaking 170 interviews last year, so I'd say I did well,
Well,
But
it hasn't affected it, has it? If you've done 170, it's a lot of shows in between work and stuff, so you've done well.
Yep. But
Mm.
and you, because I'm always seeing your post, moving away from the whole indie projects hasn't really affected you. Like, I know you did it because it was something fun to do, something exciting, and it grew frustrating. And because now I see you're active in these uh, projects and these charities that you have going on, and a lot of it's very unique, and I know that's brought you satisfaction.
Mm.
Let's talk a little more detail. Let's get out of the film stuff, because I don't want to. I had Anthony Camano on yesterday, and we talked quite harsh about all that stuff, and I think we both had the right to, but I think you've really moved on. I hope to move on the way you have, but you got some projects you're involved with, and outside your family, you know, like when you get up in the morning, uh, what is your go-to thing? What one of these projects is just like the go-to for you now?
Do you know what? At the moment, I know it's gonna. I said there is a missing persons case, which I hope one day to find Susie Lampley's body. So her brother and her rest of her siblings, because her parents died. I'm learning underwater techniques, sonar technology.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's going, when do you fit that in? I said, there's 24 hours a day. And I think I use there is just one thing that, can I swear? There's one thing that's pissing me off is
Yep.
Susie Lampley was an estate agent in the 80s that went missing in London. And the police effed it up, basically. There's there's a second like in charge bloke that took over, and he turned around and said, we reckon that she went off with a couple of men, that's it, blah 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 blah. And then basically, because she went out and she dated men, she was basically branded a slut, basically. And um someone, I call it, he's known as Bob because they kept his identity a secret because of this and the other. He reckons that he saw a man a couple of days later, after Susie's disappearance, not too far from where Susie disappeared from, dragging a big suitcase and throwing it into the Grand Union Canal, which is a big river in London. And he went to the police, told the police, they did nothing. They didn't search it. And then this person that he said he saw was in court for another murder. And he literally took 3 days off of work, went to the trial of this other, of the person that was in the dock for this other lady, Shirley Banks's murder. And he basically said, yes, it's him. I saw him. He was dragging a heavy suitcase. I heard a splash. Go, please search the canal. They never did. And I've been looking into a case, and it's been pissing because I've grown up with the case and stuff. Because, there's couple of cases that you sit there and it's just pissing you off. And I would like to search the Grand Union Canal to see whether Susie's in there. It's just one of those things that's gnawing away at me. You sit there and it's, and if it happens to, she's in there, I want to go to the person that's in prison right now for another murder, because he's in England, he's a suspect for Susie's murder. I want to sit over the table and go, guess what? I found her. And I want to see if the colour drains from his face, because he's a cocky bastard, as we call him. He thinks he's, they never catch me and stuff like that. He's a bastard. I just want to sit across the table like me and you there now and go, guess what? I found her body. You never thought that we would after nearly 40 odd years. I said, it's just one of those things that I want to do. And I've been learning like sonar technology, and I've been learning how, it's like I learned the shape of cars. I'll sit there and I'm learning the shape of cars, and they reckon that, there's sort of like cars that are underwater for 40 odd years. Susie's been there 35 plus years if she's underwater. I just want to search the canal, because every time I see Susie's brother Richard on documentaries, he's looking older and older and older. I want him to have his sister back so she can go and join her mum and dad in the grave, so that he's got somewhere proper to say, hi Sus, you're home. Sounds most probably sounds effed, doesn't it? But I just want, it's like over the Christmas break, I delved into 2 cases that are over in America. But it's just, I've had 2 weeks off from not having to home educate. True crime is my go-to to chill out. And, the unholy matrimony case and the Anne-Marie Fahey case. And one day, I know it's going to sound really, everyone's going to go, she's mad, but I want to go pay my respects to Patricia Ann Albanowski. She was murdered in 1974. She's sort of like a vulnerable lady that was murdered by Jim Corey, I think his name was, and his mate, for insurance money. And the way they did it was evil. And I just want to go to her grave to say, you never deserved it. That lady should be a grandma right now. And obviously the Anne-Marie Fahey case, the one in Wilmington. I want to go and put a flower on her bench, because her body's never been recovered. Just to say that, because I've noticed in comments on YouTube they're victim blaming. They're saying, well, you shouldn't have gone with a married man. You deserve what you get. I goes, excuse me, that's not right. I said, at the end of the day, the person that was in the wrong is a person that went behind bars for her murder, who is now rotting in hell because he died of a heart attack in prison. I said, don't stop victim blaming. I said, at the end of the day, Anne never asked for it and neither did Patricia. I said, at the end of the day, there were vulnerable ladies who made a wrong decision and it cost them their lives.
Yep.
I said, you know, there's just those two cases that resonated with me over the holidays. And I've reread their books, I've watched the documentaries, I've listened to the podcasts. And hopefully one day I'd like to go to New Jersey where Patricia's grave is, and I want to go to Wilmington. Just a bit of flower on there to say, look, I'm from the UK, I've heard your story. I just want to say I'm thinking of you. I said, you shouldn't be under there. You should be having children, grandchildren by now. So, you know, there's sort of like those little things. It must probably sounding odd, but no, it's sort of like, but so I'd like to get Susie home to her brother, and I'd like to go and see, and I'd like to go and visit Patricia and Anne's. I say, Anne hasn't got a grave. She's got a bench in her favourite park. And Patricia is with her mum and dad, I think. So, yeah, just those two, because they're vulnerable. And, you know, that's why I do my advocacy, speaking for the vulnerable. Because at the end of the day, you've got to be able to stick up for people. And I can't stand it when I see injustice.
Well, your contribution is definitely appreciated, and I think it's awesome that you come in, and it's like even something as small as helping me with the Zoom to get connected. I thought that was awesome, you know, and it's a big reason why I've always stood by you.
Yeah.
But where I haven't been to the UK, like, I mean, we got snow on the ground here, and you know, we're in that winter January. What's it like weather-wise where you are?
We did have December, it was minus 10, minus 15 where we were. Everything froze. And then now it's sort of like gone all sort of like flooded. It's horrible. It's like 1 minute it's raining, next minute it's high winds, next minute we might have snow again. You sit there, you sort of like got lots of different sort of like attire, sort of like in between. It's like at the moment it's sweatshirt and jogger pants season for me. And I, you know, it's like and thermal socks and slides for me. If you could see my feet right now, I've got pink thermal socks on and slides, which I'm not doing right now, but I sit there and I go, my husband goes, don't you look attractive? I went, what needs must at the moment. I sit there, I go, I prefer my slides because they're more comfortable. But so I've got some pink thermal socks on and black slides. It looks really attractive right now.
Absolutely.
No, at the moment, it's sort of like my garden's like mush at the moment because where we had like the frozen, frozen time, it's sort of like it all thawed out and then it's rained on top of the thawing and it's like, the dog goes out to use the bathroom outside. I look at him, I go, so we're going to have to wash your paws because you're going all over my floor. And, you know, taking him out, he's loving it. He sit there, taking for his walk, and he's sort of like going, oh, it's mad. And I go, don't you bloody dare. I sit there, don't. And I've got a lake at the back of me as well. And I lay, don't you dare go in that lake. We call it Jason Lake. It's quite funny. I think I'll show you a picture of what the lake looks like at the back of me. I sit there, go, and he looks at it, and I go, you dare. I said, don't you bloody dare go in that lake right now because I'm not fishing you out. It's bloody cold in there. I said, don't you dare. So, you know, it's sort of like today's nice, but then tomorrow it's back to, you know, weather warnings, rain and wind, basically. And then we've possibly got more cold weather coming in next week. So you just do not know what to wear, So at the moment, I've got like 3 lots of clothes, I've got sort of like the not so bad weather, the cold weather, the rainy weather and stuff. And like, I've got all my thermal socks ready to go. So, yeah.
How
So
was Christmas?
it was actually nice and quiet. I know it sounds, people are going to go, but I said, where I'm on the go constantly,
Mm-hmm.
it was nice to stop and do like Kerry things. It's like, it's like I got, did my true, got back into my true crime bits
Yep.
and stuff.
No, I worked Christmas and I worked New Year's, um so I didn't, and I'm not complaining. I told them I would, but I didn't really celebrate. Gave Skittles some stuff, that a couple coworkers gave him some stuff, and I was like, so I did that, and I slept through Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No,
no,
for me, it's sort of like everyone goes, "Oh, have a Christmas and this," but I said, "Well, I'm a caregiver, unpaid one." Everyone assumes that my children's autism disappears over Christmas. I
hmm
guess actually it makes it 10 times worse because every 2 hours the kids are like, "Is it, you know, is he been yet? Is he been yet? Is he been yet? Is he been yet?" And then my daughter doesn't want Santa in the house, so she's guarding the front door because she doesn't want him to come in. And I said, actually, it makes them worse. I said, to be honest, I can't wait for the season to be over to get that normality back because everyone says, oh, everyone, I know I shouldn't say it. It's like when I said, I did a post said to my unpaid caregivers and this, and I said, it doesn't go away. I said, the caregiving side doesn't go away just because it's holidays. I said, it's still there. It's like, you're in hospital. Just because it's Christmas and New Year's doesn't mean that hospitals don't need cleaning again. And it's like, I think I was up one night to about 4 in the morning because I had to sort of do caregiving, which I'm not giving too much away because I get my kids' dignity and stuff. But everyone assumes that my kids' autism and all their other needs disappears because it's holidays, and it doesn't. I sit there and go, you've just got to remember that. And, everyone assumes an unpaid caregiver doesn't work. And I goes, well, I work just as hard as you. Just because it's in my home doesn't mean that I'm not, some of us have to make decisions. And me and my husband's decision was made for us when our younger son got diagnosed. He's got 3 autistic kids. At the end of the day, our careers and our dreams and aspirations had to change. Kids come first. So, let's give up our careers and our dreams to look after the kids at the end of the day. And there's one thing I can't stand. The one thing I will say is don't tell an unpaid caregiver they don't work. Because we work just as hard as you do. I said, mate, it's like things I've had to learn and do over the 22 years. Yeah, my eldest is 22. I said, whilst my friends were still drinking, going to the pub or the bar, nightclub, I was learning how to re-communicate with my son, you know?
hmm
It's like I was given a book, this thick. This is how you're going to communicate with your, because Carl's non-verbal. I said I had to learn Makaton, which is a version of sign language. I said I had to learn that. I said my friends were still in the bar doing their normal things and having their coffee dates.
hmm
I was having courses, and there's one, people say, well, what changed in your life? I goes, you learn eventually who your true friends and family are. I said, that
hmm
sounds evil to say. I said, things will change. You get that diagnosis, things change and stuff. So I said, it's one thing I will say, and I'll advocate hard for. Don't tell an unpaid caregiver they don't work, because you do not know, saying that, if it will push them over the edge. I said, don't. I said, sometimes you can be up for 20 odd hours a day and get 4 hours sleep because you've done, because there's so much going on and stuff. It's like you sit there. So one thing I will say. But so how's Skittles anyway? Greg.
Yeah. No, I'm not asleep. I'm just kind of processing this. Because out of everybody that was involved with the film projects, a lot of them have moved on to other projects. And you're the one, not only did you move away from the film projects, you moved on. I think you found a calling somewhere better. And I've been trying to figure out how to how to describe that, because I've seen a lot of people leave the indie horror thing, but I haven't seen anybody leave it and find a passion elsewhere the way you have with this.
Well, there's one thing we did, like with the Ukraine war starting up. We found a small charity, say, and
We got
the
some Ukraine people at our hospital, part of our work as well.
Yeah, it was. We just over here. I don't know. We do World Book Day, where we dress up as characters from our favourite book. We read books all day, and I still do it with the kids, even though they're home educated. And we have I said, well, what do you want to do? I said, we can dress up, or we can.
What
The
did you
money
dress
that
up as?
not this year. Last year I dressed up as, not last year, the year before, I dressed up as Mad Hatter. My son Dylan dressed up as Dracula, and my younger son dressed up as George the Shark.
Okay, what about your husband? What about your husband? What'd he dress up as?
Oh, he didn't. He stayed as Jim. But he's going to kill me. And if my marital status changes after this interview, he did drama. I'm gonna get so divorced. I wish they took my photographs because I would pay loads. He used to do drama because he went to an all boys school, and they did. They had to do a project of entertaining the older folks at their care home, and they did Dorothy, Wizards of Oz. That's it. Guess who played Dorothy? Guess who played
Troy
Dorothy?
Elke?
No, my husband. I wish I had pictures of it in the yearbook, because if I had, I would have bought them. He goes, yeah, we had to do this sort of they did sort of like their final exam type of thing, was to put on a production for the old people in the care home. And his friend was the Scarecrow, and James played Dorothy and he had to wear the red shoes. The thing is, James, he's so skinny, right? No word of all, he can get away with looking like it. And do you know Reface, the app where you can change your face? They had the Dorothy, scenes from Wizard of Oz. I actually and I went, this is close to your old school party. Yeah, I just sat there and I went, yeah. So, so I think he did his bit back then. But yeah, as I say, getting back to what I was saying, we had what we did was we donated to World Central Kitchen, Oxfam.
Oh, nice.
And another charity, and then we found a couple of small charities that we're based in West Sussex, where I live in the UK, and we donated some money to a charity there, and then I got a message back that the money we donated from our dressing up fund last year went to a single mum with her 2 children, and where they managed to get her a hygiene kit and train tickets to Poland to safety. And
Nice.
we also helped out the Yellow Truck, which is a small charity here. And what we did was my Mother's Day funds. The boys said, what would you like for Mother's Day? I said, do you know what? There's lots of mums out there right now who are scared because they're having to leave their husbands to fight the war in Ukraine. I want to help those mummies. I said, don't buy me any gifts. I want you to go to the supermarket. I want you to fill the trolley up with what you would have spent on for me. And I want it to go to the Yellow Truck Aid. So it can go over there so the mums can have diapers for their children, baby wipes, baby milk, food for their children. I said, Mummy can live without this year. So we took it up to there, and it got distributed to a load of people that fled Kyiv. So it's just knowing I got more satisfaction out of that than I did the IMBD credit for Fanboy.
Yeah.
I know it's
Yeah.
gonna. Do you know, you sit there and you think, well, I helped for that. You know, our little contributions has helped a single mum, 4 families. It gets you more here in the heart. You sit there and go, all right, I'm glad they did get the help that they needed and stuff. And you know, as I say, it made more of a. It made
Impact.
Yeah. I said at the end of the day, do you know, you get, as the older you get, you sit there and go, you prioritise what's important. IMBD, you know, you sit there and go, been there, done it. You know, the fact is that we made an impact last year. You know, it's like last year we helped a load of children with a project that was happening with our local radio station. You know, we helped, you know, kids that are on local children that are, you know, their mums are fleeing domestic violence. Their Christmas is going to be in a hostel type, you know, like a halfway house. We helped for 4 children get a decent Christmas present and stuff. So it's stuff like that that means more to me than. I think as you get old, some people are fame hungry or IMBD hungry, and you sit there and go,
I'm not either, you know, I do this for fun. It's nice to have hits, likes, and views, you know. I'm on Spotify now, you know,
mm-hmm,
which is nice. But in the end of the day, you know, I do this for fun. I've had I had a lot of luck with people like Lisa Langlois became a really good friend from class of 1984, and I don't take that for granted. Um, and she's shown me a lot of ins and outs for the business and stuff like that that I take seriously, you know, and how to increase my brand. But other than that, you know, like going to the cons is fun, you know.
mm-hmm,
Get to assist her at another one last year. But in the end of the day, it's just I have a job, a wonderful job at the hospital I do, where I am helping people.
mm-hmm,
Um, although I think although I'm helping patients, keeping the rooms clean, I more or less think more about my coworkers and helping them, because you help
Mm-hmm.
coworkers, that goes to helping the patients, So, but so I like that. I do this for fun. This is fun, and interacting with people like yourself. If 13 Fanboys done one thing, it's allowed me to interview a lot of interesting people like yourself, and it's unfortunate the experience didn't turn out to be as festive for me as I would have hoped, but that's such as life. But I
Yep.
love it here, again, there's moments here, I've been silent, and I'm just thinking, and I guarantee that I've had this happen before. Somebody say, "Were you passing out? Were you passing out?" No, there are times during an interview I have to really take in what is being said, and in your case, it's this is a very different story for me, because you got a lot of people, and I've seen this through 13 Fanboy, um, who have a very opposite approach. Their association with Devi Sue Voorhees, for example, I'm not saying everyone, but there's some in that group. Their association with her is to move up, and not in a healthy way.
Mm.
Um, you have a very different approach. You did it because you wanted to do it. You enjoyed it until it became unenjoyable,
Mm.
became toxic. Now you're doing something that a lot of them would not, potentially walk away from that. And when I say walk away from that, I have a feeling that they're not going to gain what they think they're going to gain anyway.
No.
But nonetheless, I think you found some satisfaction in this, and I find it quite fascinating.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's you look at it and you go, nah, I'd rather get I'd rather sort of like everyone said, why do you want to do Susie Lampley? I goes, I'm not doing it for any gain, bar every time I see her, Richard doesn't even know me. I sit there and I look at like her case, and I look at Richard over the years. He's getting older, and he says, "All I want is Sue's back, so I can." And even if I don't find her, at least I know I attempted and tried. I said, "I'm looking into how to do it right now." It's sort of like my spare timey thing. Yeah, that's my release from everyday life. And I sit there and hopefully I can give even if she isn't in the Grand Union Canal, at least I can turn around and say I searched it or whatever. She's not in there. But obviously, you've got to do lots of research, get permissions, and work out how to do it. And I want to get in touch with the one of the retired officers that were he's still alive. I want to see what was done before I go and redo it. I rather go in there fresh and say, look, what has been done, what hasn't been done, how can we go about it? Do we need permissions to go in there? And, see if we can get someone to volunteer their services, because I'm not hard on the cash, to go in there and say, right, just say I know that it's been done, just so I can tick it off, because then I can say, Metropolitan Police, I'm a trained public, I've got no qualification, but I went in there and checked it out, just so I can tick it off and say it's been done. It's like, it's just one of those things that, niggling me and stuff. And then, God forbid, if we do find her, it's an extra bonus. And then I can say to her brother, look, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I've been watching you over the years on television, And I just wanted to give you a bit of closure. And that is, I said, imagine all those years, 1 minute your sister's going to work and next minute she's gone
Yep.
and stuff. And, it's just one of those cases. It's just, there's a local girl, Liz, Georgina. She's gone off the face of the earth. Her mum, for the last 4 or 5 years, geez, I sit there and go, ugh. I said, it does. You just sit there and it's one of those things. It's just got to be. It's in my nature. For if I see something that needs, that's just me. I I stop caring too much or giving a shit, as I call it. But that's just me. I don't think I'll ever change. You sit there and you get.
One of the things that's caught my attention during this interview too, and I don't have any tattoos, but you got some on the back of your hands. Did that hurt?
No, there you go. That's a rose. Hang on.
Oh, nice. Did
There you
it
go.
hurt?
No,
No, okay. Okay.
no, it didn't. It did when it was healing, and it was highly annoying because obviously I have to use my hands a lot
Mhm.
because obviously I'm a caregiver and you've got to do caregiving stuff, and it's sort of like it's all puffed up a bit, and I was sitting there trying not to use this hand, and so that's my dad. My dad died of esophageal cancer 13 years
Lost my
ago,
dad last year. Yeah.
and that's his other tattoo, the other one, because periwinkle blue is the esophageal cancer ribbon colour. So I got that and that done. Because I used to call my dad my right hand man, because back in the day, obviously we had to sit, but back in the day it was Skype, was a big rage.
Yep.
And that's because my dad was living and working in Suzhou, China. I didn't really see my dad for 3 years because he had to go and work over there because as an engineer and his skills were needed over there. And he had to pay the mortgage and bills, and over 3 years I got to see my dad about 9 times, but where I had Skype and obviously webcams and stuff.
Yeah.
I said, I used to talk to him and he was on the right side of my screen. And every time he was like my right hand man. So that's why I put like all the tattoos, that anything to do with him, it's on my right hand side. Because they're known as my, And I got that one. Well, that one is one of my tattoos for Halloween. That is 1978 is obviously Michael Myers' birthday, because obviously
when the
that's when it
film
came out.
Yep.
And then there's a Sawn tattoo, and that is when Rob Zombie reborned him in 2007. So this is going to be the Kerry tattoo show. I'm not getting any more out.
I just kind of noticed those during a conversation. I'm like, and I always ask people when they have a lot of tattoos, did it hurt, and I get different answers. I don't have any tattoos,
Well,
so.
I've got one on my thigh there, which is huge. I'm not getting it out now because then it'll turn X-rated and you may get pulled off YouTube. And I don't think anyone wants to see me take, but I've got Tyler Main's Michael Myers there from is it Rob Zombie's Halloween #2? I've got Tyler Main's Michael Myers there, which is huge. I'll send you a picture. And I've got my kids' like autism tattoo there to say, hang on, have a look. See if I can. I don't want to sort of start getting undressed. I said, well, look, that one, obviously Raven wasn't born when I had it done. but that is sort of like the kids' colours that their favourite colours at the time, and that
Mm-hmm.
is sort of like my heartbeat, and they complete me, my heart.
Okay.
So instead of having like the puzzle piece, they complete my heart. That is what that you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then at the time I said to the kids, "What is your favourite colours?" And Carl's was blue at the time. Dylan said red, and Cody was like orange. So
Okay.
I had them, and then obviously now I've got Raven. I have to try and
Mine
add
is
her colour.
green.
Green, yeah,
I
their
love
colours
green.
change. Yes, and then I've got one at the back of my neck and one on my spine there. And I've got one there, which is my first ever one. And that's it, really. And also I got my captain's wings, which is there because my granddad was in the RAF,
There you
which is a
go.
raw. Yeah, just a few. Obviously, too expensive now.
Oh yeah.
Tattoos are an expensive game, and I don't have. Unfortunately, I've got to decorate my house, so obviously that is priority right now. And I've got to get a new washing machine at some point. So tattoos have to wait a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
thought it's called being a grown up. Don't Kids don't grow up. As soon as you turn 18 or whatever, it's bills, bills, and more bills.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you know
Yes.
what, Kerry? It was nice having you come on here today. This is your third time on. Yeah, and you mentioned at the top of before we started um when recording on this that where the time goes, it's hard to believe it's been a couple of years since you showed me how to get
Yes.
on that Zoom.
About 3 years.
How
About 3 years.
interesting.
Time absolutely. I sit there, I went, and it said Kerry Yates Interview 3. I went, bloody hell, it's 3 years already.
Yeah. This is the
Ah,
third one you've done solo. I know you were part of one or two of the 13 Fanboy ensemble ones, the group ones.
yeah.
Um which I'm going to post, but
Mm,
eventually, but like I said, I'm just hoping to move past that. I didn't care for the experience, and I know that you weren't treated well, but um, but
mm.
I
Say
hope
la
we can.
vie, as they say. Go,
Yeah,
woof. But
yeah.
at the
There's
end of the
there's
day,
there's other things to look forward to.
at the end of the day, if you dwell on it, all you're doing is hurting yourself. Just let, at the end of the day, you found your new niche, which is hospital. You're still doing this. You've put
Hmm.
two fingers up at them, 170 interviews. So you're doing that. Just keep doing what you're doing at the end of the day. That's how I
Hmm.
look at it. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. If there's a project, maybe, but at the moment, I've got to sort my house out. So that's where my money's going. I said, just think. All my advice is to those who still want to be treat it as a hobby. Don't. If you're doing it for your mental health, it ain't worth it. And that's how I look at it. Really, just don't. If you know, life's too bloody short. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
and that's it. At the end of the day, life's too bloody short.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap this up, and because I
Mm-hmm.
know you want to get over to Tim Hortons and have a tea or a coffee.
I've got to go grocery shopping. Oh, the fun of being a grown up. I've got to go
Grocery
grocery shopping.
shopping? I thought Timmy's was grocery shopping.
Unfortunately, I sit there and look at it and go, I wish I could go see my kids over there daily, but now, fortunately, I've got to go grocery shopping. Yeah, so
Yeah, I hear you there.
you sit there and then tomorrow I'm back as home. I've got my home educator hat back on as of tomorrow. The 2 weeks, 2 week break went too bloody quick.
Oh yeah, I didn't have a 2-week break.
Well, I was on the go from August last year because I had to plan, do my planning. I got a couple of weeks off when we broke up in July, and then I had to do planning, and that started from August, and then we started properly with the Yates Academy, as we call it, and that was from September till December. So basically, Kerry was on the go from August till December and had 2 weeks off. So it was, and then the 2 week break, I was running around like, as we call it over, as a blue ass fly, trying to do Christmas catch up. And I literally put my mobile phone, the text section of it. I went, if anyone wants to ring me, they can. But anybody who's texted me over the last 2 weeks, I put it on do not disturb until tomorrow because I wanted a 2 week break. I said if anyone wants to get hold of me that badly and they're on Facebook, they can inbox me instead. I said because I'm having a 2 week break, and I did my true crime, went delved into my true crime for a couple of weeks. And last year, one thing that made my day was I got a signed book from one of my heroes. And I want to thank the person, Steve Gaskin, who I do crime school with the crime lab. He arranged, because he offered me to go to meet Colin Sutton, who caught a serial killer and a serial rapist, among others. He offered to, he was doing a talk with him up where he was. Obviously, I couldn't go because of being a caregiver and the kids. So he sent me a little video message from Colin, and Colin sent me a book down as well, was signed. And that made my year. So last year, so I was happy. So yeah, all fun. And that made my year.
There you go.
Like, everyone has their heroes, and Colin Sutton is one of them. So yes, I was happy bunny. And the book is here under lock and key because I don't want the kids to get hold of it. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Kerry, it was wonderful having you come on here today and reminisce, and next year, I'm already talking about next year. Love to have you back and keep this up.
I'm always there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but no, I do see your post, and I follow what you're doing, and I know I made a donation to I think it was the Ukraine one that you had up. I made a donation to that. When you had it on Facebook.
Oh, that one was when the children did their cancer walk first.
Oh, that one. That was that one. Then I made a donation to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really appreciated. Thank you again. Yeah,
well,
they did it.
You've always been good. You have my back, and it was great, and so plus you helped me get set up on this. So I don't forget those things. I like to show appreciation. So there you go.
No worries. As I say, I'm always at the end of an inbox, just say, Kerry, can you help me out with this? And if I can, I do like to help. So at the end of the day.
Well, I want to wish you a happy new year, happy 2023. I hope you and your family have success and happiness, and enjoy that Tim Hortons.
I will do. I think our next one's coming up very soon. So maybe it depends. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. So, and Happy New Year to you and Skittles.
Oh yeah, Skittles is somewhere hiding. He's somewhere hiding. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. It's my doggy. Hello, Marley Moo.
Oh, there you go.
Marley, hang on. Look. Who's that? You hiding away?
Look at that. We got somebody in stripy. Yeah. Look at that. I like that.
Yeah, go on. You're not allowed on media That's one of the rules now. You're not allowed to be on any. No,
Oh,
I'll
I like
explain.
the white and the red.
Oh yeah, he's having. I said he could have a PJ morning because obviously it's our last day. So I said, right, you can have a PJ morning, chill out because obviously we're back to normal tomorrow. So I said to go chill out morning and
There you
stuff.
go.
So yes, but as I said, then we've got to go grocery shopping with all four kids, which is going to be fun, isn't it, Marley? And you're going to guard the house. Yes, you are. We've got to guard the house, and then you've got to go out later because I'll take you out later on when it's less busy on the roads.
There
Yes.
you go. Well,
Yes.
well, Carrie, happy New Year to you, and
And
keep
you.
keep doing what you're doing, and you know, I'm not saying rule the film thing out in the future, but if uh, if you don't decide to come back to that, keep doing this because I think you're finding a lot more purpose with that, and you're
Mm-hmm.
finding it a lot more rewarding, and plus you enjoy helping people, so that's a plus too.
Yes, it is. At the end of the day, never say never, but right now, I prefer to do what I'm doing right now. So, isn't
There
it?
you go.
Hello, Molly Moo.
There you go.
You're old boy,
There
aren't you?
you
Yeah. Hello. Hello. Yes, I'm
go.
talking all goo goo gaga now, isn't it? You're
Mm.
my first, yeah, the fifth child, aren't you? Yes. Or should we say the sixth one? Hubby's number five. Yeah. Yeah.
You have yourself a good day and
Yeah.
enjoy. You know, you guys take care and
Mm.
I'll be in touch. Well, I got you on Facebook, so
Yeah.
absolutely.
All
And
right then. Thank you for chatting.
absolutely.
Yeah, and thank
Uh,
you for having me on again. So take
always
care.
wonderful.
All right then.
Always
You take
wonderful.
care. All right.
God bless you. You take care.
All right then, Greg. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.